I'm not talking to you, Abby. Unfortunately, I'm talking to the wonderful people of the internet. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. We're making it. We're almost there. Got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta ratings and everybody being hateful. That's what we're going to talk about first. We're also going to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Ashley speaking out. Oh my gosh, not my Alexa going off. How embarrassing. Alexa, stop. We're also going to talk about, like I said, Ashley, she commented on Mia's exit. And if I am remembering correctly, I believe that she's probably the first cast member to speak out since Mia's announcement, perhaps. So we will see. Also, we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Miami. No, we still don't have a trailer, so we're just going to have to talk about the drama on the social media instead to fulfill us. We're going to talk about Julia and Adriana seemingly not being friends anymore, and seems like that's going to be a big factor in what we are watching this upcoming season. Finally, if we ever get it. Y'all don't understand. Every time I come here to come on live with y'all, I'm like, okay, just maybe they'll drop the trailer right before. Maybe they'll drop the trailer right before. Here we are. It's still not here. So, whatever, Also going to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and something that Bronwyn recently posted. Want to get y'all's thoughts on that. And yeah, whatever else comes our way. You never know. Also, would love to hear what y'all want to chat about. If there's any Bravo topics or anything else in the entertainment sphere, anything in life you want to talk about, I'm here. Let's chit chat. KM, happy hump day with CGS. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City-ish was wild. Okay, so I have that on my list, but being the producer that I am, no, I'm just kidding. I wanted to read it here in real time with y'all. Some things I like to be prepared for. Some things I'm like, let's, if you haven't experienced it yet, I'll provide the context and we'll experience it together. Chris already dancing. Mel B, hey, you already know I'm dancing because it's hump day. I'm also dancing because I might get to see Vicky next week. I just found out. I've just seen the Atlanta thing. Yes, Keena shouldn't have done it. If anything, it was just tacky. Should the crew be refusing to film with her? No. Hope they don't lose Portia. It'll be a big no. We'll get into that. Chill Max, have we chatted before? I feel like you might be. You might be a newbie here in my live streams. I don't know though, but if not, welcome back. And if so, good to meet you. Where you from? Chill Max, tell me where you're watching from. Oh goodness. Let's see. I'm loving all the Ashley and Shannon press interviews this week. You know what? Let me add something else to my list. We're going to talk about that. Someone just sent me a Shannon interview about an hour ago. Just interesting. But yes, that means, oh my gosh, it's almost Love Hotel time, y'all. Love Hotel, I think, premieres Sunday, so that's why we're seeing all the Ashley and Shannon press. I also saw, I believe TV Deep said that Housewives of Potomac is already filming. Again, let me check their Twitter. Yep, 4 hours ago. Season 10 is filming. 10 seasons of Potomac, y'all. Ain't that awesome? And we're old. We're so old. So, Potomac's in full swing, baby. Chill Max, London to west of Ireland. Hey! I love that. Oh my gosh, so Ireland, the site of the historic Orange County Housewives trip. Dublin. The O'Toole's. Hello, history. So let's talk about first. Let's get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta rating stuff. And look, a lot of people say, who cares about ratings? Who cares about ratings in the days of streaming? Ratings are all over the place. Yes, obviously we'll never, at least I don't think, see numbers like we used to for live TV ratings, But I still find them always to be interesting. And I mean, I've come from a social media background, like as far as digital content and marketing go, where your analytics and your results, are direct, like that's all you have to gauge whether what you're doing is working. So I always find a bit of interest in how many people do make a point to tune in live. It doesn't mean that's all they have, and it also you can't really tell from franchise to franchise or show to show what the ratio is. Like, okay, only 25% of people watch live now, half of people watch live now. It has to be different for every show. So having said that, I do love looking at the ratings, and I know that sometimes we do feel strongly about them, as do I, but we also have to understand we don't even get, I think, a portion of the full picture like we used to when we get those numbers, So having said that, there were good evening from Scotland. Hi. You looking sexy today, boo. Thank you, Scuba. Listen, a girl does her hair once a year and she starts getting compliments. Thank you. Yes, so see, Sunday's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta brought in 500,000 viewers with a demo and 0.13. It says series low in viewers, meaning that's every episode that's ever aired of Real Housewives of Atlanta, live viewer ratings, that's the lowest one ever in all seasons. Does that sound great? Absolutely not, But also, like, I don't necessarily think that's a sign that this season is flopping. I'm on there. Yes, I did I do a little tweet that says, oh, Kenya's eating this up? Yes, because of course she is. Does that mean she should be eating it up? I have no idea. I have no idea if that's a direct reflection of them saying goodbye to her. I have no idea if next week they could come out and say, actually, the percentage increase from live to Peacock for Housewives of Atlanta is the highest of any show, meaning that more people tune in on Monday for Housewives of Atlanta on Peacock than any other show the day after it airs. You never know, So I just think that, people are giving them a really, really hard time, like saying, oh my God, it's a flop, it's a flop, it's a flop. And like, I know that was going to come regardless. Like they could have 5 million viewers an episode and people would still say that, just because I think that reboots bring about a lot of emotion in people. A lot of people don't like it. But I also just don't know why people don't like it, Like, why are people missing out? I think people are missing out if they're not watching. Let's see. Come on, this is the worst cast of Atlanta ever. Chill Max. Now, I thought we were being friends. Just kidding. Listen, I don't think the whole cast is the best ever, but I think the show and the energy is great. I think you can see a lot of the effort that production put into it as far as, production quality goes. It just feels so fresh and good. Like, I don't know. I don't get, I knew there would be people that hated on it because that's to be expected for every show. I didn't think it would be that bad. And I just don't get why people aren't watching. Like, if you're here right now and you're watching Atlanta, do you watch live or do you watch Peacock? Or are you not watching? Speak now or forever hold your peace. And actually, speak now is your only option. So have at it, people. I really would like to know, like, why people don't like it. Is there like a ton going on? I mean, my head's not spinning, but that's fine. Like, I'm interested. I'm laughing. I'm engaged. There's a freshness to it. There's new stories we don't know. There are people that we do know, so we get a healthy blend. I think it's a strong show. And it makes me sad that maybe they're not getting the celebration that I was hoping they would get. Okay, let's see. Sorry, these comments come in delayed on my end. The ratings are low because a lot of Housewives of Atlanta, let's see. A lot of people do a lot of streaming. Streaming is, yes, of course. And like, now, like Bravo will do like deadline articles or whatever, where they're like, oh, well, I think they even did one that said Atlanta was like the second highest premiere they'd ever had or something like that. So, come on, this is the worst cast of Atlanta ever. What happened to Marlo? No Sheree, no Candy. How now no Kenya, this cast. I mean, look, there's some heavy hitters that are missing that I miss too, no doubt. That still, I still enjoy overall the new girls, and also that just leaves room for these people to come back and play in the future, Peacock only. See, I'm a Peacock and live TV girl. I'd be going back and forth. Interesting. Not watching, but if Phaedra is there, I might tune in, but only on Peacock. Well, Phaedra's getting ready to pop in, so get ready, girl. And only on Peacock. If they needed to bring Phaedra in at the end, that means there was nothing once Kenya was left. I can't argue with that. You know, I'm not watching because of what they did with Kenya. Others have done worse, and it's not been treated that way. Listen, I see no points that aren't at least somewhat valid, in my opinion. So, but for me, it's just the people that are like actively refusing to watch that haven't, even given it a chance, or like if you've given it a chance, you don't like it, but that's it. But I just think that, I don't know. I hope that people end up liking it more, and I hope that we end up, I want them to finish out strong. I really do. I really do. Speaking of finishing out, Mia is finished out on Atlanta. We talked about that earlier this week. Ashley Darby recently sat down. Who was she talking to? Was it Bryce? I think it was Bryce Sander. Let's see. I lost my notes, y'all. Hold on just a second. She says, being on a show like our show can be challenging. It's definitely not an easy process. This is what Ashley says in regards to Mia quitting. I can attest firsthand, and I know that when things are in the shitter and everyone has an opinion on your life and you have to answer hard questions, it can be challenging and it is absolutely mentally taxing. If Mia is not in a place where she can handle that and deal with that, then I support and I'm happy that she is making the right decision for herself to leave the show. That's the most important. She added, getting her life together, making sure her children are happy, taken care of. Those are the priorities that she needs to focus on. I'm glad, hopefully, that she is doing that. Is Ashley saying that Mia quit? Interesting. Because like everyone assumed that Mia was, let go. But I also saw Mia posted today announcing some like new boutique, or not new boutiques, new like med spas. God, I can't think of the word. I think it's med spas and Georgia. And she basically said something. Let me look at the Instagram caption. It was something along the lines of choosing for yourself. The caption. The most powerful person in the room is the one who has the courage to walk away. Did Mia quit? Because I know that, like, I can see a housewife out here saying those things, like about their own departure. But I'm not quite, that Ashley thing got me. Maybe she did walk. Did she walk? Maybe they offered her a friend role or something, and then so she walked. Maybe that's what it was. Because I am a little confused by that. But if so, good for her, because that means maybe she holds a little bit of leverage to come back at some point if she wants, Also, let's talk about Real Housewives of Miami. If you listen to Reality Court with Anna and Ace, my boos, they were recently talking about Housewives of Miami and Julia and Adriana. And obviously, Anna knows the Miami girls pretty good. She was on Miami, and she says that she loves Adriana. So she called Adriana in light of all the stuff coming out about her and Julia, which is that basically Julia did some interview, and she didn't like say who, but she was like alluding to like, people warned me for years about this person and like dropping hints that her and Adriana had like, had an issue or something when they were kind of, they were tight all these years. And then Adriana was hopping in comments on people's pages and basically being like, you have to watch for yourself. People saying, I feel like we're getting only one side of the story. She'd respond and say, you're smart, things like that. So just want to get your thoughts on why you think that happened. What do you think happened? Obviously, we don't know. We sure as hell don't know because we still ain't got that trailer. But what do you think happened? And I hate when long-term friendships are sacked because of this show. You know, any of these shows. You need to do some field reporting. Trot over to Chris. You need to do some field reporting. Trot over to Kenya Hair Spa. Go to Washington. Interview her. Hurrdat. Did y'all hear that? Listen, I will go and do investigative journalism for Housewives. I will. I will go to the manufacturer of Fabellini and get us all some free samples. Okay? I will go to the Bravo archives and look up all the footage that was edited out of the day Kim Richards made chicken salad so I can get the full recipe looking on the counter and seeing what she put in it. Okay? So yes, Mel, thank you. I love that idea. Were they friends before the show? I think they were. I could be wrong. But very interesting. Would love. I mean, do y'all think who you putting your money on? Even though we don't know anything, Adriana or Julia, who do you think is going to be justified as far as taking a step away? You know, from the friendship. Also, it makes me, and Anna talked about this too. It's a good point. She's like, well, now who is Adriana's alliance? Because you can't be alone on Scary Island on one of these shows. That's like a casting, you know, that's like a casting disaster waiting to happen, you know? Like they'll be like, you ain't got nobody to film with, deuces. So don't want that. Unless you're not an Adriana fan. It's sad that Adriana seems to upset everyone eventually. I think she's misunderstood. Miami is never the same without Leah Black. Leah would be good to have back. Also, does she ever even in Miami anymore? Or does she live in LA? I think she does. But you know me, I'm all about nostalgia. Bring back those familiar faces. Also, let's talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City really quick. Let me pull up this Bronwyn thing. Sorry, guys. Had to send a little notey note. Bronwyn shares emotional update. Okay. Wait, that's not. Let's see. Where is. Here it is. She posted it like in her stories or something. Jesus. Okay. It's a long one. I'd say, girl, put it in an email, but I'd be an email I would not even read. It's so long. So I'm going to read it for y'all. All right. I appreciate knowing. I guess it was like a tweet. So Bronwyn telling public lies to Housewives of Salt Lake City fans. She was married before Todd. Her daughter called him dad. Bronwyn marries Todd. Then the rest is blocked out. The only thing her daughter knew has been erased by her lies. The only dad her daughter knew has been erased by her lies. Okay. So Bronwyn reposted this tweet. When something this nonsensical is said, I also wish people wouldn't send me all the nastiness, but don't engage on my Twitter to my Insta DMs. Or she's saying she wishes that the stuff she ignored on Twitter, people wouldn't continue to share with her on Insta. I let a lot of nonsense about me go by on social, but I do not play when it comes to my daughter. She's never called anyone by the title of dad, no one. Unfortunately for her, she does not know her biological father. My first short marriage did not bring a daddy into her life. For years before that marriage and for years after, it was only us two. Since then, Todd is the closest she has. Let's see. I am disgusted and done by people discussing my daughter, my ill-advised brief marriage, which I have always referenced in many public Q&As and never hidden. This man does not make him Gwen's father. A photographer mistakenly listing him as her dad on these social media photos years ago does not make him her father either. She called him by his first name. Also, Bronwyn looks really good with long hair in these old photos. I just want to say. He was never a father figure to her. It's pathetic. People continue to make my child, who has no social media and rarely thinks or films a point discussion. I don't know, films a point of discussion, especially trying to speak for her about a subject like her family. Okay. Interesting. It's also like, girl, y'all are filming. Take it to the producers. You know, this is what you're getting paid for. You ain't got to go on an Instagram rant. You can go sit in a nice, beautiful confessional chair after getting made up and blare it all out for the world to hear. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd do. Also, like, I'm going to say this, and I'm wrapping up. Salt Lake City is the most social media focused franchise. Not a compliment. Like, every season involves some social media element about listening to some blogger or listening to a random fan account or getting DMs about this. And it's like, I get that that's the day and age that we live in. Like, this is the, you know, the media in which our world is, you know, impacted by. But I also, like, don't need it to be a reason for every storyline in the show. You know what I'm saying? And let's see, she never brought up this other guy. Who is this guy? I think we knew she was married before, but I didn't know it was, I didn't know anything about this. And I like Bronwyn, but it seems to me almost like an attempt to get ahead and shut something down. You know what I'm saying? So Monica literally went from being social media to a housewife. The trajectory is both shocking and inspirational, you know? Hell, at this point, you know, I'm going to be twirling with a snowflake before it's over with. No, but, and I'm just saying that because, you know, it comes to mind as I'm reading this about Bronwyn. And it's just like, I feel like of all casts, they involve social media so much with the audience, both on and off camera. Does that make sense? Like I don't know. It's just, it feels like a lot is social media based. And I think it's a little too much. It's true about Salt Lake. It could be people that in production team pushing them onto social media 100%. Yeah. I mean, look at me, like Lisa Rinna begging me to leak stuff and other content creators to leak stuff, you know, like, were there things I posted back in the day? Yes. And then the one time I told her I didn't want to, I wasn't comfortable, is when she blocked me. So even if not producers, there are cast members out there that use this and leverage it, you know, like pretend, I don't know who that was. So they're the newest franchise. Maybe that's why. Maybe, but I just don't get it. Like, and even if that is them, like, I think someone from a higher level production wise should say, hey, like, we got to weave this in differently. Like, we're not going to say you found that out on social. You can say someone came into your shop that wants to remain anonymous and told you, Heather, while she was waiting on her numbing to hit for her lips, she said, so-and-so's cheating on her man. And Heather said, okay, I got that. Thank you. I'm going to bring that up on camera. No, instead, they want to say, Jen Shaw's cellmate 4321684 said Meredith looked at a man like she wanted to bang him at a hotel lobby. Please keep anonymous. And here we are writing damn taglines about it for Meredith that season. It becomes her storyline. Like, it's just crazy, you know? So I think that, having said all that, to say, Bronwyn, don't let the social trolls get to you too much, and sometimes giving them attention in any way, and to express and make yourself feel better, is exactly what they wanted. So take gratification in knowing that your words and actions and energy whatsoever is of value to them, so don't even waste it. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that one, okay? As always, make sure you follow me on social media, Christian Gray Snow, and slide into my DMs about things y'all want to talk about. And same for Hurrdat. Make sure you're following Hurrdat on all platforms and DM them there. I'll be on the DMs there too, if you want to talk about things that we can, you know, chit chat about. So yeah, hope that y'all have a wonderful afternoon. And let's see, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. So next time I see y'all, yours truly might have a cocktail hiding under my desk here, ready to whoop it up for the weekend, okay? All right, I love y'all. Be safe. I hope your love tanks are full and your family vans are non-existent. See you next time.